Yo, what's going on, my buddies? Totaljophes coming at you with a somewhat more serious video, but mainly just a rant about the goddamn feminist movement that's been going on as of late, what I think about it, and what I think should be done about it. Okay, so unless you've been living under a rock, chances are you've been seeing some of the bullshit going on with this feminine rights movement. Okay, now let me start off by saying I in no way, shape, or form view girls, women, as anything less than men. I am fully all for us being 100% equal. For women to be bosses of men, for women to be presidents, to be, leaders, to be powerful minds and research, that sort of thing. I am all for that. I can't ever say anything bad about that. Women are every bit as important as men are. So, if you're gonna try to somehow twist my words and make it seem like I'm saying something like I hate women or I think women should be oppressed or some stupid shit like that, no. As I'm saying right now, that is not the case. I've never been one like that, and even if I was, I can guarantee you my girlfriend would kick my ass. So trust me, not the case. But here's what's been going on and what I think about it. I'll agree, there are a lot of cases in the world where women aren't treated as equally as men. There are a lot of cases where women won't get paid as much as men, and that right there, that is ridiculous. There's nothing good about that. It's so stupid. There's no reason whatsoever why a woman should get paid less than a man. And I think, honestly, yes, that should be fixed. But see, that's not where this feminine rights, this feminazi bullshit has been targeting. No, they've been targeting stupid shit like video games. As an avid gamer, I have been affected by this. Now, yes, I might sound like I'm being overly dramatic by saying, oh, I'm affected because I don't get to see the sexy lingerie DLC costumes for Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater, or I don't get to see Tracer's butt pose in Overwatch, that sort of thing, but the thing is, whereas even though those might not be that important, it is still affecting my experience. And I don't view women as anything less, but I am a guy, so it's not like I'm gonna argue with seeing some girl in a game wearing some sort of sexy lingerie. I'm gonna be like, okay, well that's awesome. Now, but here's the thing. These feminazis aren't arguing for women's rights in that sort of a case. They're arguing for just covering women up. Now, yes, I agree in media, actual media with real life people. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of stupid that they have to wear less clothing to be acknowledged. It's kind of stupid that they have this expectation of being ridiculously thin or, wearing certain amounts of clothing. I think that's stupid, but in the case of a fucking video game where it's not even real women, where it's just a matter of a fucking DLC outfit, or a woman that just so happens to be posing in a position to where, yes, it shows her butt, I just think it's ridiculous that women are focusing on that, rather than the important stuff, rather than targeting shit like women not being paid as much, rather than targeting shit of women being oppressed by certain religions or in certain areas of certain countries, rather than targeting the really important shit, they're focusing on the stupid shit, like video games. I mean, I don't even get that at all. Who gives a shit how big Tifa's tits are? She's not real. What does it matter? Yeah, sure, if a real woman was in a magazine shoot and they used Photoshop to enlarge her boobs, yeah, that's kind of fucked up, that's stupid. But for a virtual girl, one that has no relevance in a sane person's real life, I don't see the point of that in the slightest. It doesn't empower women to cover up girls in video games. It doesn't make women any more equal because you're sitting there making women not pose in certain ways in games. And okay, if we're gonna talk about, women feeling like, oh, that's insulting, I don't feel good about that because I don't look like that. If we're gonna talk about that sort of thing, okay, I bet each and every one of you fucking feminazis has a goddamn romance novel in your bookcase with a man on the front, shirtless as fuck, and his muscles ripped as hell. Well, I'm not complaining about that being offensive, am I? That's sexualizing men. But am I complaining about that? No. Because I don't give a shit. It's not a real guy. I'm okay. Some book covers use real guys, but mostly it's just realistic-looking art. So, am I sitting there going, well, I don't have a six-pack and I'm not constantly shirtless. That's offensive. I don't like that book cover. Censor it. Put a shirt on that guy. Am I doing that? No. Why? Because I'm fucking sane. Because I realize that that's not a big deal. Now, even if men were the oppressed ones, I still wouldn't be doing that. I'd be focusing more on when men are actually oppressed, rather than just, oh, he's shirtless. Oh! No. See, that's what I hate about this women's rights movement, this feminazi bullshit, is that they're not targeting what should be targeted, is that there is discrimination of women going on out there, but they're not doing anything about that. They're focusing on the shit that doesn't matter, that doesn't actually affect anyone. I mean, there are so many girls I know that have never been offended by the fact that some girl in a JRPG is wearing skimpy clothing. Oh well, it's a fucking fake virtual girl that the developers felt needed to wear few clothing. Oh well, who's that hurting? Who's that really hurting? Now yes, I'll admit, maybe there are some women out there that have a lack of self-esteem, and they'll see these virtual girls in the games and feel like that they're less of a woman because they don't look like that. But see, here's the thing. It's a virtual girl. It's going to look like what you don't look like purely because the fact that it is virtual. It is made to look as sexy as possible. That doesn't mean you're supposed to look like that. And you look perfectly fine as you are. Nobody expects somebody to be walking around in a thong and nipple stickers like they do in JRPGs sometimes. Nobody expects that out of a woman. What would you think they did? Now, again, yes, actual media with actual women, when they're the ones sitting there having women walk around in skimpy outfits and saying that they're sexy because of that, yeah, that's fucked up. That, I believe, needs to be changed, but is that what the feminazis are targeting? No. No, they're ruining games for us. Games. Video games. Fake shit. Now, here's another very big example, was a Dead or Alive, I think it was like a volleyball game or something, that was supposed to be released in America, but wasn't. Because of the feminazi bullshit. Because they were getting pissed off because there's a bunch of virtual girls with their boobs jiggling around in teensy-ass swimsuits, and it's like, so what? So guys are going to buy that game, or lesbians, or whatever, are going to buy that game, and they're going to enjoy the sexy half-naked women. Who's that hurting? Who's that belittling? Like I said, we can go right back to the romance novel thing. Who's it belittling or hurting that there's a shirtless guy on every cover of every romance novel ever made? That there's, and his head's usually cut off too. Like, it's focusing just on his chest. Like, if I wanted to make an argument about discrimination, I could say that right there. Is that they're cutting off his head because that doesn't matter. All that matters is his rippling chest that's perfect and that sort of shit. And it's like, I'm not making a big deal about that, am I? I'm not making a big deal about Taylor Lautner in the fucking Twilight movies, am I? No. No, I'm not. Why? Because what does it matter? What does it really matter? At all? I mean, women aren't going to think differently of men. And if you really look at it, if you ask men what they think of women, if you ask them what their preferred body type is, it's usually curvy. Go figure, men like curves. They like an hourglass figure. They like bigger boobs. They like a bigger butt. And that often only comes with a bigger body. Now, yeah, they're gonna draw a line if it starts getting too big, but what women often think is fat really isn't, and men really don't think it is. At least none of the men I've ever met, and none of the men that have been in constant surveys all over the internet. Now, yeah, there's gonna be those assholes occasionally that will still oppress women, that will still think they're fat when they're barely past stick thin. Yes, there are gonna be those guys, but that's just a fact of life. There's also going to be women that hate men that don't have six-packs, that think that men are ugly as hell if they don't have an excess of body hair or something like that. There's always going to be things like that. And you can't just sit there and fight each and every person that does that, because that's just gonna always be there. There's always going to be men that belittle women, that discriminate against them. That doesn't mean you have to target everyone. You don't remove the source material, you attack what's going after it. You don't target Dead or Alive's sexual video game, you target the men that are looking at that video game and then going and belittling actual women. That's what you target. Because there are perfectly normal guys, like me, for instance. I would have loved to have that Dead or Alive game. I love girls! I love seeing girls with their titties bouncing around. I love seeing them half naked. Does that mean I'm belittling them? No. Does that mean I'm discriminating against them? No. I'm just a guy, and what turns me on, turns me on. You can't tell me that girls out there wouldn't love to see a bunch of shirtless men with rippling chests playing some sort of suggestive game. You can't tell me girls wouldn't like that. Of course they would, because that's what they like. Unless they're gay or something, but you get my point. The vast majority of women are gonna like a bunch of shirtless, muscled men running around. And so the vast majority of men are gonna like a bunch of shirtless, big-tittied girls walking around. It's just a fact of life. You can't just say that that's discriminatory. It's stupid. And to then go and target things that don't affect anyone is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, especially when it's ruining the experience for people that would never otherwise do something like that. Like, when I found out that rather than getting lingerie outfits, we got Nintendo-based outfits in Fatal Frame, I was pissed. Not because I was dying to see virtual girls in lingerie. I've got an actual girlfriend. I don't need to see virtual girls in lingerie that badly. But the fact of the matter is, it's still content that I missed out on because other people didn't like it. Well, how's that fair? In a way, that's also discriminatory. You're discriminating against the people that would have liked to have this content. You're belittling them and telling them that they're somehow wrong because they want to experience what they want to experience to its fullest. What's right about that? What's progressive about that? For God's sake, target the real problems. Target the people that are paying women less. Target the people that are beating women. Target the people that are telling women they don't have a right to vote or to get involved with men's affairs, things like that. Target those people. Don't target the people that are just putting girls in half-naked outfits. I mean, really? So that's pretty much what I've got to say about it. I honestly might have more later, because this is a really big issue for me. I don't like my life being affected by what other people don't like. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to my life and what I want. So, yeah. That'd be about it for this video, guys. What do you guys think about this whole feminazi movement? Are you gonna be one of those people that supports it for some god-awful reason? Or are you gonna be one of those people that realize that they're just targeting shit that doesn't affect anything? That they're just making assholes out of themselves, essentially? Leave that all in the comments down below, because I want to know. I legitimately want to talk about this, because it is something that I feel very strongly about, and I want to know what you guys think about it. Definitely leave a like on this video, because I really want to get the word out there, because it is a really big plague on the world as of late. So yeah, and definitely subscribe for future videos, because I'll be uploading multiple videos every week as usual, and they're not always going to be as serious as this, but yeah. So, that'd be about it. So, until next time, Stay pretty, my buddies.